Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video, and we've got the first release of the Havoc Demon Hunter for Dragonflight, and we're going to be taking a look at all of the goodies and awesomeness that you are going to be receiving on this class and specialization moving into Dragonflight. Demon Hunter holds like a special place in my heart. One of my favorite characters throughout all of the Warcraft lore is Illidan, especially the love triangle between Tyrande and Malfurion. Probably why Druid and Demon Hunter, I'd say, are kind of like my duo favorite classes, so it matters a lot to me that this class is done justice. This is the first time that this class is also going to have a talent tree, so let's take a look, because let's be honest, Demon Hunter didn't have a lot of abilities to begin with. It's only sharing with one other spec, being the tank spec, which means it could have a lot of interesting things, or this could be a mishap of absolute mayhem. So right off the bat, you're going to notice you have two talent trees. One is your class specific, which means you'll have access to this as the tank spec, as well as the DPS spec, and then you've got your spec specific tree on the right, which is only towards you as Havoc. Let's look at the first row. Vengeful Retreat, no surprises here. Throwglaive gaining an extra charge, not really surprising, and Sigil of Flame. So you previously weren't able to get sigils as Havoc. This is very interesting and makes me wonder what type of sigils we're going to really have access to here, how impactful they're going to be in terms of your damage rotation. Are you going to be bouncing between Blade Dance and Sigil of Flame? Like, there's a lot of different AoE effects you could do. So I'm just going down that tree more or less out of curiosity. We have Unrestrained Fury, increasing our Fury by 10 up to 20, which leads into Vengeful Restraint, which is Vengeful Retreat, reduces the movement speed of all nearby enemies. Kind of annoying to maybe get throughput for like a utility effect is kind of my first response here to that. Bouncing Glaives, Throwglaive is going to ricochet to an additional target. Likely, it depends on what type of builds we have in the Havoc specific tree. If we see anything towards kind of like the I-beam conduits like we saw in Shadowlands, this could be really good for just buffing up our I-beam damage. Shattered Restoration, our Shattered Souls are going to heal for more. That's going to be really beneficial in PvP, and that connects into our next kind of sigil looking icon. So I'm wondering, Flames of Fury, Sigil of Flame is going to generate an additional 2 Fury per target hit. Kind of meh. Not really a big fan of this. Again, you have to get like a spell that you're probably never going to press in order to get a little bit of like defense. So not a big fan of the kind of initial wings of this. Disrupt, so we need a talent for our interrupt. Imprison, of course, really good and effective crowd control. Consume Magic, which is our purge, really powerful effect. Pursuit, Mastery increases our movement speed, so we've got to pick that up as a talent now. Disrupting Fury, Disrupt generates 30 Fury on successful interrupt. You have to put another point in to get that. Aura of Pain increases the critical strike chance of Immolation Aura. Really depends on if there's Immolation Aura builds like there are for Shadowlands, so I'm just going to take this just in case when we get to it. Consume Magic. Consume Magic generates 20 Fury when a beneficial magic effect is removed, so again, you just got a talent in order to buff that up. That does lead into Infernal Armor, but we can also just skip past it and go here, so we don't have to get either of those. Charred Warblades, you heal for 5% of all fire damage you deal. Okay, I think that's probably, again, more emphasis for the tank spec, but during your Immolation Aura, this might give you a lot of self-sustain, so a bit curious. I'm not going to click it right now unless I have to in the future. Fell Rush is going to increase our movement speed. This is just the conduit coming forward, not really super effective. Throwglaive is now going to snare, so we can get Throwglaive snare, and we probably can get stuns with that. So this is a really big pickup for PvP that I've noticed right away. Rush of Chaos reduces the cooldown of, you want that, what do you mean, 60 seconds off your meta. And then this connects into Concentrated Sigils, which is all sigils are now placed at your location, and their duration of their effects is increased by 2 seconds, or all sigils are now placed at your target's location automatically. So going to be removing some of the kind of effects. You gotta get a lot of stuff that's kind of weird in order to get to this, but in duration of their effects, I'm pretty sure there's a Fear Sigil and a Silent Sigil for the tank specs, so like that could be crazy. Lost in the Darkness, Spectral Sight lasts an additional 6 seconds if disrupted by attacking or taking damage. Right now this is bugged in Shadowlands. If you get hit, you still keep the buff, but you can't see anyone in stealth. Unless they fix the bug, then this is not going to be useful. Illidari Knowledge reduces magic damage taken by 4%, so this is significantly weaker than the Conduit, but still pretty powerful, 4% damage reduction. Soul Rending, which is kind of like the Leech build. You're going to have to spend 2 talent points in order to get the Leech build. It's a big drop-off. We've got Fellblade, just standard Fellblade, mobility, generates fury. Infernal Armor, Immolation Aura increases your armor by 10% and causes melee attackers to take fire damage. So if you wanted to be like kind of a really durable tanky build, you could run this. or we can go for maximum health, and those two lead into Sigil of Misery, which is a 3-minute cooldown. Place a Sigil of Misery at the target location, activating after 2 seconds, which is going to fear all enemies for 20 seconds. Wonder what this will be in PvP. Oh my god, you have a lot of CC. You have Throwglaive Snare. You probably can still get all the stuns right, and then you could fear somebody off of it. You don't even need the Druid anymore to do the cycloning. You can just do everything here. So that seems really powerful. Tough to say as to which one is better. I mean, HP is just always valuable, I would say, if you're making that choice here. Chaos Nova, really powerful stun. Obviously, you're going to want to take that. Demonic, this has always been really powerful. What's it competing with? Demonic, or this is an honor talent. Wait, this is... You always want to play these together. Now you have to pick one or the other? No. PvE is jacking our honor talent and completely removing the short meta build with I-Beam. I do not like that. Why would you ever want to play short meta without Demonic? Because the whole point is like your meta resets your I-Beam, so you get double I-Beam, you get double Demonic. I really don't like that. That's almost like they're just deleting the honor talent so far. I really don't like that. All right, now we've got Chaos Fragments. Each enemy stunned by Chaos Nova has a 30% chance to generate a lesser soul fragment or just reduce its cooldown. We can have short cooldown Chaos Nova and Throwglaive Slow. I don't know why you'd ever want the other option. In PvE, maybe for extra damage if you have Fury generation problems, but unsure. Leads into Blur, so really obvious pick, and Darkness, really obvious pick. And we can get Sigil of Silence, so places a Sigil of Silence. Silence for 6 seconds? There's no way it's a 6-second silence in PvP. What? You're going to have reduced cooldown stun, Throwglaive Slow, and then you're going to silence somebody for... There's no way that's 6 seconds in PvP, right? And we can reduce the cooldown of our Misery by 90 seconds, so half the cooldown, and get like a Chain Fear. Again, the fear's not really a big deal, I think, if you're playing with classes that can, so maybe this isn't that great. And then also, enemies affected by Sigil of Misery take an additional... Why would you want them to take more damage? Does this fear not break on damage? If this fear doesn't break on damage, then never mind. It's an extra stun. This is insane, but we'll have to wait and see that. And again, if you want to see the gameplay portions of this, once Dragonflight has progressed to the point where you can actually provide gameplay, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because we're going to be getting all that information to you here on the channel and doing my best to be a great resource for you to know that you're always ahead of the competition, and I do appreciate your support. So this could be really powerful. Then we've got Demonic Appetite, which has always been pretty good, which is just Chaos Strike has a chance to summon a soul fragment for extra soul healing. That's going to lead into Auto Blur, which is really powerful Auto Blur. We have Long Night, increases the duration of darkness, or we have to, so it's a baseline 5-minute cooldown. You'll have to take that. The extra duration is going to be irrelevant. And then the Hunt is carrying forward. This has been both my favorite ability and also a bit of a problematic one in PvP, because it's either, you kill someone with the Hunt and you're doing nothing, or you don't, right? And it's kind of like one-hit wonder, and I don't really like that in PvP. But like the animation of it, the satisfaction of it, like it fits in so perfectly with like Illidan and stuff like that, that it's like my favorite ability thematically. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. Demon Muzzle. Enemies deal 8% reduced magic damage to you for 8 seconds after being afflicted by one of your sigils. So trying to incorporate more interactions for your damage reduction, I think that's a better approach than kind of just passively giving you so much leech and magic damage reduction. Extended Sigils increases the duration of sigil effects by 1 second. What? I can make this an 8-second fear? There's no way that's 8 seconds in PvP. Nuh-uh. And then again, this leads into Auto Blur. We've got a Natural Malice, which is just increasing the damage of the dot of the Hunt, or Fey Empowered Elixir. Cooldown of the Hunt is reduced by 12 seconds whenever an enemy is killed while affected by its damage over time effect. Again, that's probably going to be pretty good in PvE if you time it, like pull to pull and stuff like that. And there's a lot of mobs that'll die when you hunt, and you can get a really short cooldown, but I doubt you'll see that in PvP unless it does enough damage to kill imps on a demo lock. And then maybe it's really crazy in that situation, but that's pretty much it. Quicken Sigils. All sigils activate 1 second faster, and their cooldowns are reduced by 20%. So it is a 6-second silence on a 2-minute cooldown, but we can reduce that pretty significantly. So you're getting a lot of crowd control is what I've noticed kind of initially off the bat. Biggest thing I don't like is having to choose, do not take our honor talent. Do not take Demonic Origins as an honor talent and put it over here and delete it from the game like you did Way of the Crane. Don't do that. I really don't want that to happen again, because this is a really fun part of playing a Demon Hunter. If you're going to put it over here, don't make me pick between Demonic for it so I can get both, because that's the only reason these are the only reason it's fun is because of both of these working together. Having to choose them separately is not good. Don't like that. That's like the biggest thing I've noticed. A lot of like really kind of meh options also that you got to go through on the sides here that I've noticed. Now let's look at the spec specific. We've got I-Beam, of course. Trail of Ruin. Obviously, you have to take that. Dancing with Fate. Final Slash of Blade Dance. Steals additional. Again, that's been a really good conduit for a long time. These are all kind of, the top tree is not really anything you're expecting to choose between. You're just kind of like locking them all in. Tactical Retreat. Vengeful Retreat is 5 reduced cooldown and also generates Fury. So you might be able to get that, but I mean, let's look at these end ones when we get to them. Chaos Strike damage. First Blood is going to deal additional damage. It's always been kind of tuning with Demon Hunter. Like I've played it through multiple iterations when it was kind of like a Fel Barrage burst Demon Hunter with kind of the Warglaives on the ground spinning really fast on a stun, and then you had like Bloodlet where you'd throw glaive bleeds onto targets, and it's always dependent on like tuning as to what abilities you really want to build your character around. So whether or not you want to be a Chaos Strike or a Blade Dance or an Emo or a Demon Hunter is what it's looking like right now, is entirely dependent on tuning, which we just don't know yet. Fel Rush damage, if we're able to spec into that bursty Fel Rush after you Emo Aura, this is probably really good. Burning Hatred, Immolation Aura is going to generate Fury over time. And then we've got Critical Chaos. The chance that Chaos Strike will refund 20 Fury is increased by 50% of your crit chance. Okay. Mortal Dance. Oh, okay, so they're taking, I like this. They're taking our Mortal Wounds Honor talent and turning it into a normal talent, which will open up more talents. And they're making it 50%? There's no way, right? It's AoE, man. You can put it on everything. It's Sharpened Blade. That's got to be a PvE only thing, right? So this, it's also 50. Wait, it's still in the honor talents too. What? Wait, why did they? Wait, you can still get Demonic Origins. Is this just like they forgot to take it out, or you're gonna be able to? Because I mean, if you can get it here still and get that, that's fine. And then you can also choose to get it here and here. It's got to be they just forgot to take it out, right? Fellfire Heart increases the duration of Immolation Aura and Sigil of Flame by 1 second. So again, really depends on if that Immolation Aura build is coming through. Oh, you got to get that Chaos Strike one to get Nether Walk. Ouch. Ouch. Initiative, this is not in use yet. Damaging an enemy before they damage you increases your critical strike chance by 15%. Using Vengeful Retreat refreshes your potential to trigger this effect on any enemies you are in combat with. Ooh, so you can do like a Vengeful Retreat, reset, get massive crit strike chance. Nah, maybe I'm not like super stoked about doing that. But in PvP, not getting Netherwalk is a big deal. Furious Gaze, this is haste. This is kind of like what makes Demon Hunter feel good. You got to get that. So we can get Fell Eruption, Throglaive, AoE Stun, AoE Fear, AoE Silence. Okay. Insatiable Hunger, Demon's Bite deals 20% more damage and generates 5 to 10 additional Fury. Or we can get Demon Blades, which most of the time I think we're playing. I don't know about PvE, but in PvP most of the time we are playing Demon Blades. This leads into Chaos Theory, which does not at all look like the current Chaos Theory. What is this version of Chaos Theory? This is not even close to as strong as the Shadowlands Legendary one. I do not like this one. Blade Dance causes your next Chaos Strike within 8 seconds to have 10 to 8% increased crit strike chance. They're not carrying forward like the RNG procced blades, Chaos Blades. Yeah. Really don't like that one. Serrated Glaive, enemies hit by Throw Glaive take additional. So again, if you wanted to go that Throw Glaive build with 2 charges, like an I-Beam build, you'd be able to connect that talent. Looks can kill, I-Beam deals guaranteed. Kind of annoying that you have to get that. Oh, but this is insane. So into Ret Paladin teams in PvP, your I-Beam is like a double-edged sword, because if all your attacks crit, you're proccing wings on the Ret Pally. Now you can take this talent out against a Ret Pally. You're not going to be feeding them a ton of Avenging Wrath. That's kind of a big deal. Blind Fury, I-Beam generates 20 Fury every second, and its duration is increased. So if you want to be an I-Beam Demon Hunter, you can. I always like being an I-Beam Demon Hunter because it makes me feel like the X-Men with the goggles when you pull them off, but it's not always the most competitive. Unbound Chaos, so 500% increased Emo Aura damage. I think that's what it is right now. Plus like the Fell Rush damage. Likely going to be a really powerful burst build with the Hunt, obviously. And we've got Glaive Tempest here going into Fel Barrage. So it's like a tuning thing, right? Fel Barrage is also one of the most satisfying spells, too. That you're just like sending barrages all out here. I'm also a really big fan of Glaive Tempest, where you drop the Warglaives. I really hope these spells are tuned in a way that you can actually get them. So you can combo your stuns together, drop down the Warglaives and cleave people down, or like reposition for a Fel Barrage. Those are always really super satisfying, but they were just tuned in a place where you can never get them in Shadowlands, so hopefully they will be. Growing Inferno, Immolation's aura damage is increased by 15% each time it deals damage. Chaotic Transformation. When you activate Metamorphosis, the cooldowns. Ooh, so we gotta get that. So our only ways to get that is either the Throwglaive I-Beam damage or it generates Fury. I'm kind of leaning towards this one at the moment because that's like a big component of Demon Hunter. We move over here to, we looked at Chaos Theory, we looked at Relentless Onslaught. Just Chaos Strike has an 8% chance to trigger a second Chaos Strike. Kind of minor. Isolated Prey, so again, another honor talent moving over into the talent tree. Chaos Nova, I-Beam, Fell Rush gain bonuses when striking one target. If you stun one target, you get a longer stun. I-Beam's just gonna, wait, it just flat out deals 30% more damage? I guess, okay, if it's only one target, 30% more damage. And then Fell Rush will generate Fury. That leads into Essence Break, which you've never really been able to play because you have to take the, I think it's the Trail of Ruin most of the time. So you could get Essence Break. Interesting to see if that plays out. 20-second cooldown, you slash your enemies and it increases the damage of your Chaos Strikes. And Blade Dance, again, it seems like you're either going to want to build your character around Throwglaive, I-Beam, Emo Aura, or Chaos Strike, or like a mix of all three. Know your enemy. Your attacks have an increased critical strike damage bonus equal to your crit chance. So trying to make a crit Demon Hunter work. I did that as a meme in Shadowlands. Now they're actually trying to make it a thing. Curious to see if that works out. It makes these other talents based around crit a lot more interesting. So we'll have to wait and see with that. Restless Hunter, leaving demon form, grants a charge of Fell Rush and increases the damage of your next Blade Dance. Ooh. That's a lot of extra damage. Inner Demon. Oh, this was the fun one from Legion where you like Chaos Striked and it summoned a demon onto somebody and just smashed their face. It's whenever you go into demon form, your next Chaos Strike will be able to spawn that demon and crash them. Again, tuning, if this isn't tuned to do a lot of relevant damage, then it's something you won't want to take, but it's also been one of the more satisfying abilities as Demon Hunter. Fell Bombardment. Emo Aura damage has a chance to grant you a stack of Fell Bombardment, increasing the damage that your next Throwglaive deals to your primary target by 50% and launching an additional glaive at a nearby target. This effect can stack up to 5 times. So there could maybe be some Throwglaive cheese here. If you wanted to do like a Throwglaive build with I-Beam, maybe there's possibilities. Ragefire, this is new. Each time Immolation Aura deals critical strike damage, critical damage, 50% of the damage is dealt is gathered as Ragefire. When Immolation Aura expires, you explode, dealing all stored Ragefire damage. So you get like a big pop of damage with Emo Aura Fell Rush, and then at the end of the Immolation Aura, you get another big pop of damage. Really depends on like how many targets does this take to develop enough damage. It's an interesting mechanic. It's definitely a new one. Not in PvE, I could see this being insane, but in PvP, not sure 100%. Cycle of Hatred continuing forward. Chaos Strike is also going to reduce the cooldown of your I-Beam by 0.5 seconds and an additional 0.5 when it refunds Fury. That's pretty insane. Oh, this one's connected by a lot of like... Oh my god, there's too many good talents. Burning Wound. Demon Bite leaves an open wound on the enemy, dealing chaos damage over time, increasing the damage from Immolation Aura. Again, if you want to do an Emo Aura build. Improved Metamorphosis. Demon Hunter gains an additional 10% haste during Metamorphosis. Fodder to the Flame is continuing forward. Your damaging abilities have a chance to call in a demon, which is going to heal you. Man, you need to get that. Elysian Decree, which I don't know if anyone played this, at least in PvP. It's going to be a sigil, but there are talents that reduces the cooldown of your sigils. I wonder if this will be good or not. At the moment, I'm leaning to Fodder. Soul Rend. Throwglaive causes targets to take an additional 60% of the damage. Okay, so it's not the same as Bloodlet. I saw the Bloodlet icon. I was like, oh my god, is that Bloodlet? Maybe good, maybe not 100% sure. And then Momentum, Fell Rush, Glide, in the Hunt, and Vengeful Retreat increase the damage done by... That's a lot of abilities. I don't know if it's... Is it... Wait, Glide? If I just double jump, I'm going to do... Am I turning into Super Mario here? Shattered Destiny. The duration of your active demon form is extended by 0.1 seconds per 5 Fury spent. You know what's crazy is the ones on the bottom are not nearly as crazy as the ones like on the upper 3. Any means necessary. Mastery. Demonic Presence now also causes your single school magic damage to be dealt as chaos instead. Your single school magic damage. So fire is now chaos. Interesting. I don't really know how that works, honestly, with how everything else has been incorporated. It seems like you have a vastly wide variety of things that you're going to want to go after. Like I said, like things around Emo Aura, Throwglaive, I-Beam, Chaos Strike, single target burst, kind of delayed onset of burst, sustained damage. kind of interesting ways you can customize your character if you don't want I-beam to crit, or maybe crit is going to be really valuable for you for Demon Hunter. Seems like they took a lot of honor talents. So like Isolated Prey isn't here. So they took Isolated Prey and put it here and took it out of here, but they put Mortal Dance here and left it here. And they left Demonic Origins. So maybe they were ahead of this being like, hey, we shouldn't remove that so that PvPers can still get it. Or just these other ones just got forgot. I don't know. It's hard to say. If they moved this Demonic Origins, you know, somewhere else that you can get both the Demonic and Demonic Origins, or just leave it as a PvP talent option, then Demon Hunter's getting a lot of CC. You've got the Hunt and Fodder to the Flame. You still got a lot of the legendary effects moving forward from Shadowlands. You got these insane crowd control sigils that are either going to be like game breaking, like crazy, or maybe entirely useless. I'm just imagining like a Death Knight Demon Hunter, right? Like running down somebody, gripping everyone together, AoE fearing them, AoE stunning them, AoE silencing them, and then cleaving them with the Hunt and Fodder to the Flame and emo aura damage and maybe Rage Fire. Like there can be some like really crazy combos to pull off with this. For Demon Hunter, and this is just the first iteration, so I'm sure this will be updated over time. If you want to stay up to date with that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope that you've enjoyed it, got something out of it, and I will catch you in the next one.